Hey, one awesome community. This is episode 347. I'm so excited about today's episode that I really couldn't title it just one title. So it's called Owning Up and What? No Cupcakes? The reason being is I have two stories to share with you, and they both come under the same title, but they also needed a twist on the other one. Now, before I get started, I'm going to tell you what's going on as far as the sponsorship is, because if I don't get it out of the way now, I'll never stop talking. And remember to share with you what I do to help you be successful. And I'm going to give you 4 words: new customers, postcard, prospecting. So with that said, that's what I help businesses with, to get more customers using postcards. So if you want to know more, you go to heycardlady.com or PM me and we'll get together soon. Now, to my story. So the first one has to do with the business I was just talking about. So we have automations in our system, and I have been blessed to connect with someone that will create these cards for me sometimes because I'm very, very busy and I want everything automated. So I just click a button and it goes, right? Well, I received a beautiful card, but it didn't sound exactly the way I wanted it to say, so I wanted to go in and modify it and put my own personal signature in it rather than a generic font. So I hadn't really gotten to it, and I continued on with something else I was doing. And about a week or 2 later, I went in to look at my order history to see that all my orders that should go out have gone out. And I saw that all these postcards had gone out. I'm like, I don't normally send postcards to my existing customers. I send them a 5x7 greeting card. So postcards I send to prospects or inactive customers or people I've talked to and just, I guess there's a prospects. Anyway, so I'm looking and I'm like, oh, well, the card that went was Spring Ahead. That's okay because that is what's coming up. I didn't get to it, so it's good that it went. But then I clicked on the actual card. And guess what? It was not Spring Ahead like I thought it was. It was Fall Back. And it went out on February 28th. I'm like, oh, what? And it was a postcard and not a 5x7 card, which is what I shared with you I send to my customers. So I'm like, okay, what happened? Well, I concluded that what happened was I did not do my due diligence and make sure that the card that was attached to that was actually the card that went. So I don't usually just accept those cards. I always go in and pause my automation until I get in to adjust some of the I always send mine with a big smile. Sometimes I put a humorous phrase in there. I had looked at what was in there and I had just closed it and moved on. Did not stop and adjust anything. Because guess what? I was busy. And I don't know if you're going to relate to this or not. I was very distracted. So busy that I kept adding things onto my schedule. Well, I had to own up to this so that my customers did not think, number one, that it was my system. And number 2, I really wanted to let them know this was not what I planned to send out. It is springtime. Spring forward, fall back is not right now. So I got busy. I sent a few emails. I thought, no, Messenger is where most of my people actually respond. So I started sending out to every individual. I copied and pasted the message and said, big oops. Just you'll know it when you get it. And here's the thing. Just make sure that you double check what you set up is what you want to send out, and pause it if you're not ready for it to go. Because the thing is, we have different ways to set it up, and this was set up just to go on the date that it was triggered to go. The outcome of that was very rewarding, actually. Even though I'd made a goof, it was pretty awesome because I heard from my customers that I hadn't heard from for a while. Found out one was undergoing heart surgery, which I had no idea about. Someone else actually read it, that it was time to spring ahead. And I said, you might want to look at that card again. It does say fall back. And so it was just great. I got all this communication going on, but I owned up because you know what? When you own up to a mistake, it is understandable. But if you try to pretend it didn't happen, then your integrity is in question. And I pride myself in my integrity. And I really, really wanted them to know that I'm not, like sitting here, not, in the fall. I'm sitting here in the spring. I didn't want to cause confusion. And so it was just really cool. It was really cool how that resulted and how that, and that's the second goof I've done with my system. The first time I put the wrong brackets around how everything connects, and the cards came with first name on them. Not their first name, but the words first name. So same situation. I sent out, I said, don't be doing this. And so I add on to owning up how I screwed up, and please don't do this. Do your due diligence. Make sure this is the way it should go. So that's my first story. The second story is a personal one, and I'm pretty sure that most of us have done something similar. So went to see the great-grandbabies this past weekend, which is always a treat. We had not seen them since Thanksgiving. So we were so excited. So the day before, I double-checked with my granddaughter. They live about 2.5 hours away. So I double-checked with my granddaughter to make sure that it was still okay we came for that weekend. She says, yeah, but things have changed. Her husband was now going to be gone all day on Saturday to a training, and he had to take some employees with him, but he'd be back for dinner. Okay. And also, my oldest great-grandbaby is going to have a birthday party to go to. So Tara says, this is what we can do. We'll go, the girls will go, two great-granddaughters, and my granddaughter and myself, we'll go to the birthday party, and Grandpa can go back to the hotel and take a nap. Well, he loved that idea. So this was the plan. So it was quite a bit of a drive, and she took the country roads, which are so pretty. And so we're just moseying along, and we get there about 5 minutes after started because it was a longer drive than we anticipated. Walk in, the place is busy. It's one of those places that kids go to paint, or particularly this party was a slime party. So we get in there, and we all had to wear masks. So we had our mask on, and little Sophia's going to run in and bring little baby sister with her. And as we're standing there, this other little girl runs out and says, oh, I'm so glad you're here. And they go off, and they get very involved with the party. And so I'm having a blast because I don't get to see this part of my granddaughter very often. And so I got to watch how she interacted and how much she took care of her baby sister. And then we're about the cupcake phase. They're getting the cupcakes. And my granddaughter says to me, Grandma, I don't know anybody here. I said, what? She said, yeah, my friend Eloise isn't here. I said, oh, really? She says, yeah. And she said, and I don't want to give that present to this girl because it says it's Eloise, and it's for Eloise. And I'm like, okay, Sophia, we'll take care of it. So I pushed on over to sit down with the girls and open presents. And so I tell Mom this, and I says, Sophia told me that she doesn't know anybody here, and her friend, who she thought party was for, is not here. And Tara looks at me, she says, uh-oh. She told me that too when we got here, but I just thought that it was just because there were so many kids here, and that girl did come up and talk with her. Yes, she did. So Tara pulls out her phone, and she looks at the invitation, and I'm sitting there looking at it with her, and I'm like, Tara, it says March 6th. Today is March 5th. And we just looked at each other, oh, crap. So about then, it was time to blow out the candles or something. We went around the corner, and we looked over. There's this big whiteboard. And Tara says to me, you think that was a clue, Grandma? And I look over, and it says, happy birthday, Taryn. The little girl's birthday party we were going to was Eloise. So it was like, what? So we were giggling, and I said, "You gonna tell the lady that we came to the wrong party?" And there's no. And of course, this little girl, Sophia's upset. The little girl's reading a card that says to Eloise. It's like, oh, kids go to so many birthday parties. And so Tara told her daughter that, you know, Daddy will take you to the right birthday party tomorrow. Plus, she was supposed to go to a unicorn painting party, and Tara wondered why they were doing slime. So there were a lot of signals going on that Tara just wasn't picking up on because it was so busy. You know how it is when you get 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds and it's busy and oh my, it was wild. So it was like, oh my goodness, I'm just like, I am trying not to crack up. I am thinking, oh my God, we're just looking at each other. I'm like, oh my goodness. So while I was helping Sophia get some stuff done and helping Miss Izzy, Tara did go over and tell the young woman, the mom, that we had come to their party by mistake. But here's the blessing in that. She had just moved there with her daughter and did not know anyone. So by Tara owning up and letting this woman know that we were at the wrong party, they made a connection, and about an hour later after getting home, she sent Tara a text and said, so much, so thank you. I just so appreciate you have being here and letting me know. I would love to visit with you some more. And Tara knows how it feels to get to a strange place and not know anyone. So those lessons were humorous, but owning up brought gifts that you weren't expecting. And I think that's very, very powerful when you do have an oops, or you've not done something that you said you would do. Owning up to this is absolutely powerful in how it builds you in your relationship to whoever it was that you oopsed with. And you know, Tara and I kept saying, and we didn't even get a cupcake. What? No cupcake? Well, we were at the wrong party, right? But I shared with her, I said, you know what, Tara? I said, there are so many sitcoms out there that have people going to the wrong parties, or you've gone to the wrong meeting, or you've missed. I mean, we've all had these episodes in our lives that, oops. So I just wanted to share with you that I really think it was meant to be, because the gifts that I got back from, you know, owning up to my postcard, and for Tara owning up to that young lady that we were at the wrong birthday party, are something you can take away from here and apply it to maybe something you're going to be having happen to you in the future, or you've had that oops and you haven't owned up to it yet. Maybe now's the time. And with that said, now is the time for me to boogie on down the road and let you do the same. Get out there, just have an absolutely awesome day. And as you know, I'm always going to suggest that you pass on that smile. Take care. Till next time, bye-bye.